Hello and welcome to another day in paradise. Today I want to talk a little bit actually about Art Cathey. But first, before I do, however, I would like to ask you to like, subscribe and share and click the bell notification. So first of all, who is Art Cathey? If you don't know who she is by now, I will give you a little rundown of who she is. She is a repatriated African American lady who has moved to Gambia some year ago, I think. Now she has created a few projects over there. She came there with virtually nothing, and she has built and built and built. She's done extremely well. She has an organization that she has built which essentially will help diasporans relocate to the African continent, more notably to the Gambia. However, many of the natives in Gambia are not happy with her. And if you know who Art Cathey is, I shouldn't have to explain this, but let's just say she doesn't really care for the words that she uses when she describes those natives of the Gambia. Now she uses derogatory words, calls them stupid and weak and all sorts of other nasty words. So I was speaking to one of my followers on YouTube, one of the subscribers, and I had a discussion with him, and he sort of disagreed and said that essentially what Art Cathey was doing was something that was needed. Now, you know, I understand that some people don't mind Art Cathey because we look at her from the perspective where perhaps we are not being sensitive to the people that live there. So have we got to that point where we don't have to respect the locals anymore because they have problems which they're not dealing with? So let's insult them instead, and perhaps they'll listen then. Do we genuinely believe that we are at a point where we can establish a better relationship with the locals of whatever country we go to and start to tackle their problems, because they're unable to tackle their problems, by first calling them names? No, of course not. I mean, logically speaking, all we have to do is look at the way Gambians have responded. And they haven't responded in a positive manner, have they? They have not responded in a positive manner. And thus, no unity is going to come by the them and us mentality being brought into the African continent. Now, I've just finished off watching an interview by the Nii Ayi show YouTube channel, a new YouTube channel that I just sort of stumbled upon, and it's a really good one. I'm going to find out more information about him. I'm definitely going to put his link in the description so you can watch his videos for yourself. And the video essentially will give you an idea of what we need in terms of communicating with the natives the type of mindset we need to bring to Africa. Not the Art Cathey mindset, mind you. Because I truly believe that while she will have a lot of supporters, and the vast majority of those supporters will be African diasporans from America, you're going to see threats. Of course, it's something I wouldn't threaten somebody if they started disrespecting me. I'd just show them I'd disrespect back in not a nice way. Matter of fact, I think it's better if you hear this from the horse's mouth. So I'm going to put a little clip in this video for you to listen to. You tell me what you think of this. Here you go.
I'm not afraid of my people. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. I move with confidence, and I also move with respect for the locals. So before I came here, I learned a couple of words. I learned a couple of customs and things of that nature. What's a no-no, what's good. And then I just moved. You know, what I noticed is that some people, they look at you and all I have to say, how you doing, bro? And they were, hey, it was all smiles. It was good. So once we break that ice, then it's good. And you know, I love it.
You know, there's this question I always love to ask people having their first experience here.
Yeah.
What really touched your hearts? What were you so amazed about Ghana?
The people. Without even thinking, the people. I think Ghana's best resource, yeah, we talk about the Gold Coast, we talk about all these things, but the best resource of Ghana is the people. I walked through Osu and I saw Jiangsu Agricultural Tower. I saw this, I saw the Lebanese controlling everything on Oxford Street, and it breaks my heart. I don't like to see that. I don't like to see my Ghanaian brother, you know, doing traffic for the parking lot for someone that's not an African jumping out of a Range Rover. I don't like to see that, you know? So we just gotta work to change it. It's a big order. It might not happen in my lifetime, and I'll tell you why. Pan-Africanism is always gonna take a back seat to feeding your family. You see what I'm saying? So if my belly's empty, the last thing I'm thinking about are some black people in America. I'm thinking about feeding my family. You see what I'm saying? So once we get the Ghanaian population and the African population as a whole to a certain point and raise their standard of living, then we can start reaching out to each other. But while you're hungry, you're worrying about putting food in your belly. You're worrying about paying school fees. You're worrying about sickness. You're worrying about, now we're worrying about coronavirus. So, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It can happen. That's why I still hold on to some hope. You know, but I'm not.
To push it.
We gotta push it, and
everyone needs to get involved.
Pan-Africanism has to have more Africans in the pan.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that? I mean, is that not the way we should be approaching every single African country we are planning to go to? Huh? Do you think Art Cathey's approach would work in every single African country? You know, I'm not sure if you follow football, what I would call football, what some of you Americans would call soccer. But when managers are trained, they are trained to do one specific thing. They are always trained to remain positive during half-time. They will shout, they will swear, but they will not put their players down in a negative way, especially if they know they've got to get the best out of them. Why? Because when you start talking to people with negative energy, they absorb that negative energy and nothing positive, of course, comes out of it. So, football managers are taught to always remain positive. Now, is that not the mindset that we should be bringing to the continent? And if it isn't, then I don't know what is. Now, I have to admit, Art Cathey's video from not her last video, but the one before, really got me going. It was so, what's the word? I don't know, it sort of juiced me up. I felt really motivated by it. I felt motivated. I could see what one thing that will happen with her videos. It will motivate a lot of African Americans to come to Africa. She uses language which us diasporans are going to appreciate. She looks past the bureaucracy and simply looks at the logic of what needs to be done and questions the reason why it isn't done. It's this no-nonsense attitude which attracts all of her followers and is the reason why she will continue to be successful on YouTube and on the continent. You know, it's kind of sad, to be honest with you, because when I watch her videos, I can see that she actually starts off very well. Her videos are very motivating. She'd be a very, very good motivational speaker for some people. And then as she starts to get more emotional into it, boom, she sort of drops off the edge of the cliff and just starts speaking her mind. And if it's one thing, you and I both know what people who need to be diplomatic in certain situations, the one thing they can't do is just allow their emotions to control them. Once you start allowing your emotions to control you, they will inevitably use you. They will use you. Your emotions will take control and they will abuse you. And this is the one reason why Art Cathey is failing. And it's sad. If she could just only fix that, if she could fix that, she'd be brilliant. She'd be brilliant. If she could just hold her tongue and literally talk more about what logically needs to be done in order to solve the problems that she is facing and that many Gambians are facing, then she would be in a whole different world now. I mean, I would strongly advise you not to follow in Art Cathey's footsteps if you are planning to go back to the continent, no matter which country you're going to. This applies to the whole of the continent. Do not do what Art Cathey is doing right now, because you are setting yourself up for retribution, which could lead to violence. And if you're bringing your whole family back there, that's not what you need, is it? I can see that a lot of people from the Gambia have actually expressed this. They've said, you know, you need to be careful. They have warned her many, many times. And I fear for Art Cathey, I do. I truly do. Because at the end of the day, she is a woman. She is there on her own. Yeah? And they have this petition that's still going round, which I truly think will fail at what needs to be done. She's an American at the end of the day. And that American passport gives her a lot of power there in the Gambia. But I truly think that you should not ever speak to people that way, even in your own country. I mean, come on, who speaks that way? Who speaks that way? Nobody speaks that way unless they are trying purposefully to offend somebody. And I could see that some people are saying, well, that's what she's trying to do in order to sort of get it through to people's heads so they can actually get up and do something, but it's not having that effect. People are not getting up and doing something because Art Cathey has just offended them. They're threatening her. That's what's happening. Nothing's happening. There isn't going to be any big change. If you look at Blacksit, though, look at the massive changes she's made in Gambia. Look at what she's done and what she's accomplished with so little. That is incredible. She has literally put things in Parliament, put things into law. In the Gambia, she has changed law and made the lives of every single diasporan who are planning to move back to Gambia a hell of a lot easier. I was also asked, what am I planning? What are my plans to tackle some of the problems that Africa has, and Africa in general has? Well, it's a difficult one because the country that I plan to move to doesn't really have that problem. But I know the Gambia does. And we are talking about child prostitution, sex tourism. We are talking about this. And I'm not really ready right now to reveal what I plan to do. But not openly anyway, not in public. So, but soon I'll be able to sort of put my cards on the table. So I've put a link in the description for Art Cathey's last 2 videos, and for the interview, the clip of which I've just showed you. I would strongly suggest you just watch them for yourself. Make your own, judgment on it if you want. The interview itself is on a channel which I'm going to do a lot more digging and exploring about, because it's my type of channel, so I'm going to put that in the link in the description. You can also take a look through this channel too, and see what it's all about. So that's it for me for today. I am going to get back home and walk the dog. I hope you guys are settling up all good. It's the end of the summertime, so please get outside and enjoy this beautiful weather. So from me, I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra a bit.